Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrew Hall. You may call me Dr. Kennard, and welcome to the Disappointed Cat Morning Show. First story up. Let's talk about Dave Chappelle for a second, maybe for a minute, maybe for a few minutes. I want to share with you the story that I found on Patheos, non-religious channel. It's called Dave Chappelle is Not Transphobic Due to that's right, a new study, a new scientific study just came out showing that comedian Dave Chappelle is not transphobic. It is impossible for him to be transphobic. And let's look into this study right here. Links in the description below, everyone. A new study reveals comedian Dave Chappelle cannot be transphobic. The peer-reviewed paper titled Dave Chappelle Can't Be Transphobic Because He Had a Trans Friend was published in the journal I Can't Be Racist Because I Have a Black Friend. Controversies around the man who created the hit program Chappelle's Show are not new. In his newest Netflix special, The Closer, he doubles down on previous jokes about the trans community. Chappelle jokes about being a TERF, a trans, exclusionary, radical feminist, someone who believes trans women are not really women, and then explains how he had a friend who is a trans woman, so that makes it okay. Professor Andrew Kennard, no relation, is the lead author of the paper, even though it's clear from the special that this individual wasn't a personal friend of Dave's. They were a fan and little more. It's clear this relationship absolves the comedian of any bigotry, he said. Team Chappelle is rallying around the research, even as data shows transgender bigotry is on the rise. Some activists are calling for action. Hip hop DX.com reports with 2021 on track to be the deadliest year on record for transgender people in the US, the majority of whom are Black transgender people. Netflix should know better, National Black Justice Coalition Executive Director David Johns said in a statement on Wednesday, October 6th. Perpetuating transphobia perpetuates violence. Netflix should immediately pull The Closer from its platform and directly apologize to the transgender community. And in related news, Joel Osteen is forced to write 45,000 apology letters. I am shocked. And I'm shocked. I don't know if any of you have seen The Closer on Netflix. There's a moment there that Mr. Chappelle basically states he doesn't understand what hitting down means in comedy. Or maybe that he does understand, but he just decided it's an irrelevant point. Well, Mr. Chappelle, here's a small infographic to help educate you. Satire is meant to ridicule power. If you're laughing at people who are hurting, it's not satire. It's bullying. By Terry Pratchett. I'm going to say good morning to everyone in the chat. Good morning. I'm sorry I wasn't here yesterday. I had to do some adulting. I'm going to see if maybe none of you have seen The Closer on Netflix. I saw it the other day and it made an impression on me. And what I hope is that when you come across bad arguments, whether it's on commercials or news programs or on comedy specials, when you encounter bad arguments, there's a siren that goes off in your head. It's the bullshit siren. This is a faulty argument. I hope it does, at least. It does with me. Good morning, Simply Secular Dave from the West Coast. Hope you're doing well. Tobin Templeman, Robert X, favorite X-Man right there. Sammy Jenkins, hello, hello. What's up, Robert X? Lee Spanner, hope you're doing well. Yeah, I had to do some things yesterday. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all, but it had to be done. And thank you for the super sticker, sir. Every shekel counts. Every penny counts. 420 atheists who have it. Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Did I get everyone blazing? I hope you're doing well this morning, blazing. And Dr. Mordecai, it was like 2 minutes of 9 before 9 o'clock, Dr. Mordecai. When you wrote that it was 9:02, I just want to say that. Yeah. Dee Parks, good morning, Dee. I hope you're doing well this morning. Scott Duke, Canardites, indeed. MC Fractal, Artist extraordinaire is here in the chat. Morning, MC Fractal. Oh, I always ask people, I forget to ask people to hit the like button, but if you get some value out of this show, please hit the like button. Derek Cruz, good morning, sir. And I think I hit up everyone. So once again, I just want to, of course, that was my article. That was my article from my satirical blog, Laughing in Disbelief. So yes, I am the canard, the Omni canard, maybe, perhaps. And I felt I had to vent a little bit about that really bad argument from Dave's comedy special. That's all, everyone. Now we are covering other stories today, some hilarious stories, some serious stories. And once again, this show goes until 9:25. We take a 5-minute break, and at 9:30, there's the after party after show that goes from 9:30 to 10:30, full hour. If you want to be on the panel, then the link is in the description below. All right, let's go to the next story, everyone. All right. I'm going to assume that many of you have not looked at the links or clicked on the news stories, but I think none of you are going to be surprised that this gentleman was one of the rioters from January 6th. And just when you think that there's no bottom to stupid, there's sub-basements of stupid, everyone. And this is a story about sub-basements of dumb. Capitol rioter represents himself and accidentally admits to more crimes. The U.S. Capitol defendant, or a U.S. Capitol defendant, ignored a judge's advice against self-representation and went on to admit to several felony crimes. I know. He seems to be such a stable fellow. An accused January 6th rioter who was warned against representing himself at a bond hearing has admitted breaking into the U.S. Capitol and trying to have a judge disqualified from his case. Brandon Fellows of Albany, New York, who was facing a felony charge of obstruction of an official proceeding for allegedly breaking into the U.S. Capitol through a broken window and smoking marijuana in Senator Jeff Merkley's office. Mr. Fellows allegedly posted pictures of himself sitting on a police officer's motorcycle while wearing a fake beard and USA jacket as a mob of Trump supporters fought pitched battles with police outside the Capitol. Maybe if he just smoked some pot before, if he smoked a lot before the riot, he may not have been one of the rioters. That's all I'm saying. Maybe a little preemptive marijuana could have saved him this embarrassment. Let's see. Mr. Fellows had asked U.S. District Judge Trevor McFadden if he could self-represent, explaining he had spent 2 weeks in the Washington, D.C. jail's library. So, of course, being in the library alone for 2 weeks does not make you competent in any way, shape, or form. He didn't say he was reading, but he did say he was in the library for 2 weeks. I do not think this is a good idea, but I'm going to allow you to take the stand if you wish, the judge replied. During a rambling speech, while trying to have his bond revoked, Mr. Fellows discussed a conversation with his public defender in which he'd found a loophole to have Judge McFadden removed from the case by contacting the judge's family. That doesn't sound smart. Mr. Fellows went on to explain that he'd been able to get a judge in a previous case removed after he intentionally put down the judge's wife as his emergency contact. Clever boy. It was reported he went on to admit 2 more felony crimes of using the judge's wife's contact information to try to get him removed from the previous case and missing court-ordered mental health and drug testing appointments. Judge McFadden ordered Mr. Fellows to remain in jail, saying he had shown contempt for the criminal justice system. You've admitted to incredible lapses of judgment here on the stand, not least of which was seeking to disqualify a New York State judge. The judge continued, more than 600 people have been charged for their roles in the 6th January riot at the U.S. Capitol. So here's a pro tip. 1, don't represent yourself in a court of law. Just don't do it. 2, well, I mean, the overall theme here is don't be like this guy. It's a poor choice. Probably rioting's a poor choice. When the duly elected politicians, the officials of the country, are just counting up electoral votes, not even counting up electoral votes, they're just certifying electoral votes. So does the MAGA cult create people with mental illness? Probably not. Maybe it exacerbates pre-existing mental illness. That's what probably happened in this fellow's case right here. I'm going to check out the chat and see what you all have to say about this. Let's see. Cryptameria, good to see you today. That is not real hair, Dr. Mordecai. I feel like that is not real one. The link, in case no one clicked. That's right. That was from The Independent. Let's see. What else is going on here in the chat? MC Fractal says the fake beard and helmet make him look like an extra in a low-budget indie Thor movie. That's what I thought too. Maybe one of those movies from the 1980s and the 1970s that never really turned out that well. When there was the technology wasn't there to make a good superhero movie, but they tried anyway. They tried their darndest. Oh, Tesla Ranger, you live in Schenectady, just west of Albany. Yeah, I've been up to upstate New York a couple of times recently. The woolen beard is a full, maybe he just thought he was, people wouldn't be able to recognize him. Maybe that was his goal. Maybe this is him like incognito. I don't know, everyone. I don't know. So let's see. So that's our second story. What are we going to do for our third story? I'm glad that you asked. Oh, yeah. All right. So I'm going to rub my head a little bit here. This is a gun story. Here in the United States of America, as many of you know, we're kind of gun crazy. Some areas in the country are more gun crazy than others. And we hear about shootings quite a bit. We hear about cops shooting people unnecessarily. And of course, this story can be filed under the broad category of idiots with guns. Not malicious people with guns, but just idiots with guns. Because you see, if you're an idiot, then you're a danger to yourself and to others. But if you're an idiot with a gun, you are by far more of a threat to yourself and to others. And this is a story that illustrates that. Astros fans dry-fired guns during playoff game. One forgot his was loaded, Texas cops say. Who would have thought that this story occurred in Texas? Because Texas seems such a rational state. A Texas man accidentally shot his friend while watching the Houston Astros game on TV Tuesday night when a strange game time ritual went off the rails, according to the Houston Police Department. A group of friends gathered at an apartment on the city's north side to watch the Astros face off against the Chicago White Sox, the fourth playoff game between the teams. According to investigators, the friends were all armed and would dry fire their guns in celebration every time the Astros scored a run, KTRK reported. So you're hanging out with your buddies, you're probably drinking some beers, you're enjoying yourself, you're having a great time. Maybe there's nachos involved. I don't know. I like nachos. What I don't like is dry firing handguns because, and tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong, microphone. But are guns toys? No. Squirt guns are toys, right? But guns that shoot real bullets, are they toys? No. So isn't it common sense that you shouldn't be using them as toys? The Astros won well, this is the important point right here. The Astros won Tuesday night's game 10-1. Generally speaking, dry firing guns means pulling the trigger, thereby triggering the gun's firing mechanism, while there are no bullets loaded or sitting in the chamber. So, old school reference, Yosemite Sam, how he shoots guns in the air like he just don't care. Well, this would be similar to that, except there are no bullets. Or in theory, there are no bullets in the chamber. However, one person forgot to unload their firearm, the Houston Chronicle reported. When the Astros scored a run around 7 p.m., the man pulled the trigger and a round went flying into his friend's abdomen. Got a gut shot, police said. The victim was taken to a hospital and is expected to survive, police told the newspaper. One person was arrested, and investigators are working with the Harris County District's Attorney's Office to determine if charges should be filed. KTRK reported, is there a crime against stupidity? And if there isn't, maybe there should be. Perhaps. Or maybe there should just be a decent investment in public education. Or perhaps money should be out of government, like lobbyist money should be out of government altogether, because that's the only reason why the NRA has so much power in the United States, and that's why gun culture perpetuates in the United States, because of lobbyists. It's because of the NRA and other gun fascist organizations. Gun fascists, I like that. Did you like that term, Microphone? Microphone likes the term gun fascists too. All right, checking out the chat, see what's going on. Yeah, Tesla Ranger. Gun safety rule number 1, always assume the gun is loaded. Always. Why? I guess in a world where we're arguing that the world is round, that evolution is real, that the earth isn't 10,000 years old, that we have to keep telling people guns are not toys, and always assume the gun is loaded. Always assume the gun is loaded, right? Simply Secular Dave. I had to shoot him 3 times. I have 3 bullets, red, white, and blue. With USA etched on them. Very funny. Grant Farmer, glad to see that you're here, Grant. Glad to see that you're here this morning. Here we go. Tesla Ranger says, obvious safety violation should be cause to lose one's Second Amendment rights. That sounds like socialism. No, I think you're right. Because the last time I heard is that guns are dangerous. And hear me out on this, everyone. If you abuse, your rights to driving in a car, right? If you are driving around irresponsibly and hurt someone, then maybe that impinges on your ability to drive a car, right? The state might take away your driver's license. I think you're spot on with that, Tesla Ranger. If you do something stupid with a gun that's clearly negligent, maybe, perhaps, definitely, always, you should have your gun rights revoked. But it's Texas, right? You're more likely to give a fetus a gun than to have that happen. All right. You want to do something funny? Let's do something funny for a minute. I found this video about Christian influencers. I thought you might enjoy it, everyone.
Jesus, he turned water into wine, while we turn water into whining and complaining. We gotta do better. We're better than that. I'm better than you. I'm better than that.
Sometimes, in the woods, you might see a bear, but my God takes all that I can bear. Good news? Nah, I say it's very good news.
Jesus had 12 followers. I have over 12,000. Wow, I don't know what that means, but that's crazy. Blessed.
This is poison ivy, but if you follow God, stuff like this can't harm you on earth. Guys, I'm not even scared.
Water. Jesus walked on it, and we just drink it. Do better.
If God didn't want me to have money, why did he give me rich parents? Think about it.
see that? I did that for God. Do better. Think about it.
I think many of us would say we have thought about it, and we recognize that the possibility of God actually existing is very, very small. There's no smart money on the existence of God. I think that's a pretty clear bet right there. I'm going to check out the chat. Right? How perfect was that? How divine was that? Indeed, Tesla Ranger. Indeed. All right, everyone. I guess the show is just a couple of minutes. We're done. Oh my, that's right. MC Fractal. I guess we finished the show a little bit earlier. I thought my rant about Dave Chappelle would have been a lot longer, but I've been talking about it for the last couple of days, and maybe I'm just ranted out about Chappelle. Thanks for watching. We're doing the after party after show at 9:30. Hope you can attend. Hope you can show up and just watch. We're going to talk about anything that the panel wants to talk about. And once again, the basic policy is that if you're part of the community, then you can be on the show. You can be on the panel. But if I don't know who you are, then, I'm not going to let you on, because we've had people do bad things before on the panel, and that's not going to happen again. All right, so I'll see you at 9:30. And I don't know why I'm doing guns, but I'm doing guns. And I'm going to throw down my video, drop the video, thanking YouTube members and patrons, because there are no ads on this. There's no ads here. All of this is funded by you all. So thank you. I'll see you at 9:30, everyone.